Hey everybody, welcome back live at Drew's house, Joppa Afternoon Drive. Hope you're all doing well. Return guest on the show, you know him well. Jim Antonelli joins us now, the interim AD at Newburyport here, and also the Dean of Students, still multitasking over there. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing okay. Happy New Year to everybody.
I know, it's never too late to say Happy New Year, right? We're flying here.
Exactly.
Speaking of that fall season always goes by like that, let me tell you. In the books. It's I know you guys had another lovely season over there at Newburyport, and we're off and running in winter too. But what do you want to do? You got a couple thoughts on fall here before we move on?
Yeah, the fall was great. Yeah. Very, very busy, but very productive season. Teams did very well. You know, we had many teams that made it deep into the playoffs.
Yep.
I wish a little bit deeper, but great coaches, great community.
Yeah.
You know, I think I said before, 70% of our kids are participating in sports.
Yeah.
Which is great. And so I think we had a great fall. It did go by quick.
I mean,
to be honest,
it's that season just coming out of summer, and then school gets on you quick, and then the whole day. And then wintertime, I always felt like a little bit of a longer season.
Right.
But even that, it's like you get the holidays, then it's kind of off and running too, and that's the spot we're in now.
12 games deep already.
I know, crazy. I've done I haven't called your girls basketball. I've met them, but I called your boys basketball, and boy, can those guys play.
Yeah. Last night we came out and we were a little bit. I wouldn't say we were flat, but we were playing. We're right where the other team was. We were playing the Georgetown Royals, and then all of a sudden, third quarter.
Yeah.
Wow, floodgates open. We went up by 25 points and never looked back. Yeah, it's a juggernaut of a team.
Is it tough for an AD? I called the game first. Who did you guys play? Was it North Reading? Your game got away from North Reading. You guys, it was at home, and it was a bit of a blow. Is it sometimes because I can see your coach? Remind me the name, boys basketball coach.
Mark Elmendorf.
Mark, and I could see his brain racing, trying to he gets the subs in, but still, I mean, these subs are practicing against your starters every day. This is a deep team, and they're lighting it up a little bit too. There's only so much you can do to kind of. Yeah. You slow down your pace a little bit, but you don't want to embarrass teams. Is that a weird spot for coaches and ADs to be in?
Mark and I have talked several times about that, and it's almost a harder game to try and coach when you go up by 25, 30 points because you got to use your bench, rest your starters and stuff, and then you can't tell your players not to score,
right?
Because that's embarrassing to the other team. And these kids come out last week. I can still remember one of the games. They were raining threes, deep into their bench.
Yeah,
and good for them. They work hard. They practice hard. They give the starters their go, and so. Why not?
I can always tell how good of a team really is and how good their practices are when you see the subs come in and the level doesn't really drop that much.
Exactly.
Which is kind of what you guys get going over there a little bit. And you got to be careful, right? Because I remember Rick Pitino saying the game of basketball itself has changed so much over the last 10, 15, 20 years that that 3-point shot does get teams back in quickly.
Absolutely.
A 20-point lead isn't necessarily, game over, let's run and hide. Yeah. So.
And if Georgetown came back last night and started hitting the threes the way they did early, that's right. They would have turned it around. 5, 6 threes quick, and bam, you're back in the game.
Sure. All right. So that's one of the teams you're obviously excited about, though, is the boys basketball because they can. The girls seem to throw with their squad too. They're a lively bunch in here when they join the show. Tell me a little bit about that team.
Yeah, they're doing great. I think they're right now in the power rankings today. I think it was 6-4.
Okay.
So had a nice win last night, and it's a solid team.
Nice.
A little bit of a struggle, this year compared to last year, but they've got some good talent, and they'll continue to thrive.
Schedule hard right at the beginning there too, right? They played some tough games.
They did.
Very cool. How's my guy Coach Amin doing there in the boys?
Coach has got a lot of freshmen on the team, and so they're struggling a little bit right now. They're not 500. Neither team, both boys and girls, but they're making some progress, and so hopefully they can. He has shown some excitement about playing better with the younger kids, and so hopefully they can pick it up and make the tournament and see how they do.
It's funny. He's probably not used to that because it's such a hockey town here, hockey city, that it's usually like just year and year and year of building. Usually he doesn't get stuck with a lot of freshmen that must be kind of a fun project for him though too. I mean, I know losing can be a little difficult sometimes, but.
He brings the enthusiasm. We were talking today about the Newburyport Bank Classic that's coming up in February, 16, 17, 18, and 19. It's just a great energy. He's always enthusiastic, excited, and loves working with the students. I think he sees it as a challenge.
Yeah.
Why not? And a challenge that'll take him into a few more years.
Less than a month away for the Newburyport Bank tournament, huh?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You were obviously a big part of that last year, right? Were you You on board for that? Not so much? Oh, okay, so this is your first go?
This is my first go.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I want a little shout out to Minuteman Press if I can, because Kim over there has been awesome helping me with the program. I mean, I'm a fledgling, right? I'm a newbie doing all this stuff, and she's been outstanding, just helping me work the program, and then Crown Trophy with the trophies. There's so many pieces and parts, and the Richard A. Eaton Foundation that's a sponsor for this, and Scott Eaton and Kerry Sullivan. These people have been wonderful.
There are so many moving parts.
It really is. I mean, from banners to, we were just talking about the menu, because I guess we do a little bit of food over at the rink, and John Randall's the new manager over there. He's like, I'll do a chili, and I said, I'll do this and do that. So we want to make it a fun event, for the kids, but also for us. I mean, we're spending a lot of hours. I think there's 16 games that I'll be over there for that weekend.
Yeah, man, you'll get your fix.
Yeah.
I like that. I guess we do. You're really learning by fire here, huh?
Exactly.
It is crazy. One thing about that tournament, I remember Richie Eaton talking about this a lot. One, it gets you ready for like the state tournament, just these mini little, one and done sort of brackets. But also, he said it's like we've become so popular that teams from all around the state want to play, and they get a lot of returns, so there's only so many openings really per year. Do you already feel that kind of desire to play in that tournament?
We picked up by Algonquin, a good team from last year, and they got on me early, and I'm like, what is this tournament? What are you talking about? And so the guy stayed in touch with me, and we got him into the tournament, so it should be good.
Man, it's a lot. It's a lot of hockey.
It is a lot of hockey.
And a lot of in and out. How's the graph holding up these days?
I think they're doing a great job over there. John just got a small thing, but a water bubbler installed for the kids.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got some really big thoughts on concession stand and some painting to go on, and they just added another locker room space. So he's into it. I tell you, I met John, at the beginning.
John is the rink manager?
John's the new rink manager over there. Steve Moore used to be the manager over there.
And the Graph Rink is the home of Newburyport and Triton Hockey, just for those of you not in the know.
Yeah, on Low Street. Yeah. And it's just great. He's been very respectful, communicative, helping us, to save some money when we don't use the ice time, which is awesome. I mean, some people will just let you use it or lose it and pay for it. And he's been terrific. So a shout out to him and Kara over there.
That's an important thing to have. How because I imagine things must come up on a high school schedule where you do have to scrap practice or whatever, right?
Absolutely.
Happens a lot in every sport, I think.
Absolutely.
And never mind rescheduling games. That probably is still happening.
I think hockey's the hardest one. I mean, so if something happens and somebody doesn't show up, or there's a game rescheduled, you forget to cancel the ice, and you still you got to pay for it. So
not cheap.
No.
Yeah, hockey never has been, right?
No.
Man, crazy. All right, well, there you go. There's the state of the winter teams. What's anything flying under the radar that we don't know about, or?
No, again, I just think that summarizing the fall was great. Great student athletes. Again, a really veteran staff of coaches in the fall, and working with the MIAA was great. We had tournaments in where you have to utilize their tournament structure, but they were really efficient in getting us our checks for hosting these particular games, which is great. And I was involved, with the MIAA for a lot of my career. And to see it on the other end as an athletic director was great. The communication from the tournament directors was wonderful. And then if I had any specific questions, I had a lot of support on that end.
The new state tournament, I guess they're not that new anymore. It's probably been a few years, maybe 4 or 5 years now, where teams can play. It's the whole state, right? If you're the top team first plays the bottom team, no matter where you have to travel to. I remember when that first came out, there was a lot of heat about that. Like, well, you're going to make these kids drive here, and it was pretty much people just picking up like the longest logistical route possible. And there have been some long ones, there's no doubt about that. But all the kids that I do kind of bring in here, it seems the majority say they really like it. Like they don't even mind traveling to a lot of these games. It's like, whether if we've earned a top seed, we want to, we earned it. We deserve to play maybe a team that's we get through a little bit quicker. And sometimes it's fun going to play a team from a different area.
I think it's more difficult on the parents. Driving,
I would imagine,
getting out of work and driving 2.5 hours to a location. The kids are on a bus together. It's great memories, and you're going to a tournament game.
There's music.
Absolutely.
That's what it is, isn't it? It's the parents that were complaining, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Which can be hard. I mean, how did you, when that first came out, I forgot your stance on it. Do you remember?
Oh, it was frustrating to me as a high school principal. I mean, you're going to, a 2-hour ride to a game, and I'm saying, how many different teams are right around us that we can play?
Sure, yeah.
And so, within a half an hour, and you're going 2.5 hours. We had multiple games out in the Springfield area.
Yeah.
So for Westford Academy, when I was coaching and administration in that particular school, so it was difficult, but it is what it is. I mean, the MI does the best they can. There's a seating meeting, and the seating meeting happens, and you play where you play. Yeah.
What is the biggest issue between the MIAA right now? And it does seem every year, I feel like there's something, it's never like the job is never done. There's always
Here's the thing, right? Yeah. You have to remember, there's at the MIAA, there's an executive group of folks, right? But everybody that works for the MIAA, it's you and me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's principals, it's athletic directors, it's teachers, it's coaches. So we make up the MIAA.
Okay.
And when I was on the board of directors for 7 years, I looked around the table. Yeah, there was an executive director at the table. There was maybe an assistant director at the table.
Yeah.
But everybody else was athletic directors, principals, assistant principals, coaches, and teachers. And we made up the board of directors.
Okay.
So we voted. So when you say, oh, the MIA did this, the MIA did that, yeah, there are times when you have to make a decision. And the executive director may have to make a decision, but it's normally with board input.
Gotcha.
And so people aren't going to like every decision, right?
Sure.
And that's life. But the bottom line is these people, care about sports. They care about education in sports. They care about the well-being of kids. There's tons of committees from sports medicine, everything. So I'm a firm believer. And when I had my meetings, I would welcome the District A committee to Westford Academy, and I'd say, look, remember one thing: we are the MIAA.
Yeah.
And some people would cast, the eyes at me like, he's just, blowing smoke. I said, it's the truth.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And I mean, let's face it, most of those roles that you mentioned, principals, teachers, athletic directors, they tend to be in it for the right reasons, and they're not trying to screw anybody, right? No. It's it's a good way of thinking about it. Because you're right, people do kind of treat it like, and then maybe it's different in like college when there's more money involved and everything. But in college, people are, that team only gets in because, but that's really not the case. You're saying
it's really made up of the members. It really is. And when you call down there, I will tell you, all of the executive directors, from Dick Neal to Bill Gain to Mr. Baldwin today, they make sure that customer service is first. Like I call as a principal, I get an answer. Yeah. Right now, if a parent calls down there, they're going to push the parent back to the school, which I think is good. Yep. They're not going to usurp our power as principals, which I think is a great way to do things. Yeah. But when I call down there and I say, "This is Jim Antonelli from Newburyport High School. I'm the athletic director. I need an answer." Yep. I'm getting an answer.
I always give you answers, too, every time you call me. I'm Jim Antonelli, interim AD here of Newburyport, joining us, Newburyport High School, and also the Dean of Students. Are we in exam week right now or something?
We are, yeah.
I could feel it as I drove by earlier.
Two exams a day, for our students. Yeah.
Kids love that stuff, right?
Exactly.
Actually, I never hated the exam week because you get like the half days, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you get you just prepare for your test and get a half day. It's not
That's
bad.
Right. Go to lunch and then get back at it, right? Study for the next one.
Complicated with sports? Does that make sports work?
Yeah, it makes it difficult because the kids, the sports don't stop. So kids can be out late traveling to whether it's ski or we have a hockey game tomorrow night. It's senior night. Yeah. On, senior exam week. Yeah. So it's busy. Huh.
I forget. I forget. I'm dating myself now, but does every school around here do that?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
it is exam week for everybody?
Yeah.
In Massachusetts? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all in it together then.
We are. We are.
That's funny. Yeah. What do I don't know that's going on in Newburyport High School right now? We got renovations. We got anything? There's always seems to be something going on when I'm in there, isn't there?
Well, the nice thing is coming is over at on Low Street at the superintendent's office, we have 5 new tennis courts being put in.
Oh, I heard a rumor mill about this. As a tennis guy, I was very excited.
Yes, it's going to be great. We'll be able to host our own on-site varsity matches for the first time.
Because you guys had what? You had, was it 3 or 4?
I think it's 3.
3. I think you had 3.
So now I think we're going to have a total of 8.
Which is devastating because for people who don't know, you play a tennis match, there's 5 points up for grabs.
Yeah.
And if you have 3 matches, You got to play those 3 out.
Yeah.
And then only the next 2 matches, which are usually the doubles, they only get on after the singles matches ended. Those could be long days at the tennis courts.
Yeah. What's the minimum you need, Drew? Because I'm trying to think, is it going to be a total of 8 or a total of 5 now?
It's 5 courts, but 2 doubles matches usually. So it's 7 players play. You get 3 singles and 2 doubles teams.
Okay, so it might be a total of 5 courts now.
That's what most.
Yeah,
that's what most courts
so
have.
now we'll be able to host.
So now you're good.
Exactly, exactly. 8 was a little bit aggressive on my part, but it's a beautiful space. They came in and we met with them.
Yeah.
And they mobilized in the fall. They had the barriers out there, and then all of a sudden, bam! They had it in. They have the base down, and all they have to do is finish the top coat in the spring. Hopefully, we're going to have some matches on it.
Beautiful.
In the spring.
Wow.
Late spring, anyway.
It's happening quickly, huh?
Yeah.
And you guys always got a damn good tennis team too.
Absolutely.
That's I remember actually that was MIAA was involved last year with the tennis team. I know that was a big story around here with the controversial tie break, which I won't even get into because it's complicated, and but tennis people like to talk about it and what they should have done.
I was extremely pleased with the facilities when I came on board as the interim. I mean, the Stalen Field is a beautiful field, a beautiful stadium. There's lots of places for people to watch a game.
Sure.
Pettingill Field, lots of baseball fields. Softball fields I saw down the street, got new parking as you're exiting towards Amesbury. We work the swim team. We have we co-op with Triton for that.
Yep.
Ski teams over at Bradford. Bradford's your old salty ski area.
Yeah, it was for us. They hosted a bunch of schools back in the day.
Sure.
We had Danvers High Ski Club at Bradford back in the day.
Yeah, still very busy. Then you got the Graph, right?
Yep.
And so fortunate to have we were really fortunate because I know my former school we had to go up to Tingsboro, which is a good half an hour, 40-minute ride up from Westford to Tingsboro to just south of New Hampshire to skate.
Yeah.
Right? And so it took some time for the kids to get up there.
The 3 rinks place there?
Skate 3.
Skate 3, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember that place from the hocky days. Wow, very interesting. Stalen Field, I tell you that story, when they opened that, I'll always remember it because it was just a nice day, but it was Thanksgiving. Right? I think they opened that place on Thanksgiving, and they had a big tribute. It was Mike Lynch, was there for the tie 5. So whenever he was at your game, it was the big one of the day. And James Stalen was there for the dedication. Yeah. And I just went up and I did a quick interview with him from the 50-yard line and just sat with him for a while. And he could not have been happier. He was just like,
this dedication.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he was a great guy too.
And I think I mentioned last time, the NEF with the Newburyport Education Foundation creating the weight room downstairs, which is second to none.
Coach Mean still running that?
Oh, yeah. Strength and conditioning coach.
Yeah.
He will never let that go. You walk in there, you're going to work, baby, I'll tell you.
He hasn't put you on any regimen yet, has he?
Not yet. I could use it.
Please. Yeah, you could probably teach your own class in there yourself, huh? Well, that's good. It seems like everybody's doing great over there as far as facilities and teams go. And you know what? Who might have some attendance issues during final exam week, but
Yeah.
How does that work with people because the senior slide probably happens right after this, right?
Something called senioritis.
Oh, is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, senioritis.
Okay, sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because
kids are looking at colleges now. Some are already maybe in.
Yep.
Yeah. I always thought that made life kind of unique.
It does. It's busy, and so kids have to wait and try to get to the graduation, and they're very, very busy. Yeah.
I have seen people screw it up at.
And their parents are nervous, and we coach them to make sure they're making good decisions.
Yeah.
So they get to graduation, get to walk in graduation, and enjoy graduation.
What is the first sign of senioritis? Can you catch it when you have to pull somebody aside and be like, "Listen, you got months left here."
Oh yeah, you're not done yet. We have some more time to go. So, and I have something called a diploma holding over your head right now. Can't hold that, but we, walking in graduation is a privilege.
Yeah.
So, and our students are great. I mean, these students are really awesome. I've thoroughly enjoyed being here.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you have.
So the athletic director search is underway.
Oh.
Yeah, and so I'll just be here till the end of June.
Okay, maybe.
And so right now there was about 50 applicants for the position.
Oh, okay.
And they a committee brought it down to 8. And then last week there were interviews, and I'm not sure how many finalists are left out of the 8, but the finalists will interview with the administration, and hopefully the administration will pick somebody to take over this position.
Are you part of the committee?
I am going to be a consultant at the end. Yeah, a non-voting consultant.
You would like to go back to your regular role full time?
I would like that. What has it been?
I mean, I know you're a sports guy, though. That's why they gave you this mantle of this interim tag. They said this guy will get us there to the next person. What has it been like just juggling the two roles and taking on the interim athletic director tag?
I can't even tell you how fast the days go.
Yeah.
I mean, I get up in the morning, and I'm not a guy that's gonna, if I'm out late the night before. I mean, last night I didn't get home till 9 o'clock, but I was still there at 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
Because I have my dean's position, and so I knew I had to take care of some attendance issues for some students as they're finishing up the semester, and I'm an early bird, so I like getting up anyway. But it's a long day, and it's fast paced, and like you said, the fall, it was a blink of an eye, and the fall was gone. I mean, I was at Thanksgiving Day, sitting up Thanksgiving, going, I cannot believe I'm already at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And now we're midwinter. I mean, 12 games deep.
Yeah.
We just started. We just started the winter.
I can't believe we're 12 games deep. We really need to find a full-time AD.
It's busy, but you know what? A shout out to my administrative assistant, Kathy Cutter.
Yeah.
I think I said that last time. Amazing person, a workaholic.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Kathy, all the ADs, all the coaches, and if she's not texting, she's on the phone or she's at her computer doing something.
Yeah. Does it make it easier with the, because this is not all areas of the country are like this, which it's true. Like, this is a very passionate sports area all the way through, and especially at the high school level. Like, there's a lot of passion in these leagues. There's a lot of rivalries. You go to certain parts of the country, it's just not like that. Many of them are, but here in Massachusetts, there is a lot of passion for sports. I wonder if that makes it easier or harder.
Well, it depends on the circumstances. Now, Saturday night, we've got a game between Triton.
Yeah.
Triton's home rink is the Graf Arena.
Yeah.
Newburyport's home rink is the Graf Arena, and now we just flip-flop benches, right? And when you walk in there, you can just feel the intensity.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And the fans, it's packed, and it's what high school sports are all about.
Yeah.
So whether it's an intense volleyball game, or it's great in this area. I find it fascinating, and I find it something special for our student athletes.
I had those Triton kids in here actually because Gavin Morangi I know because he's a country music superstar, the goaltender for Triton.
Oh yeah,
and
he sang the anthem at our Newburyport game. He was amazing.
he's crazy.
Wow.
He's got great songs too. It's amazing. Advanced for his age too. He's a great story. But I like him, and he brought his buddies in here, and they did a little hockey show, and they were just coming off a loss to Newburyport, and they pretty much straight up told me, they were like, we have not been able to get them in years, and like, we really thought this was the year. We are having a tough morning today when they came in.
That was a 4-3. That was a tight one.
Yeah.
And I think this week will be a similar kind of game.
They're coming again, right?
Yeah.
What is that? I mean, that might have been a little start to a little bit of that Coach You Mean optimism, right? That's always a big thing when you see like a group come together. Maybe a game you guys aren't supposed to win there. It's a young Newburyport team, a Triton team that's ready. Like that's going to be kind of a nice moment for a young team.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Absolutely. So, again, we'll see what happens. But as coaches pointed out, the players are playing better. The younger kids are rising up and impressing him each and every day.
You got to grow up quick as a freshman. Because I always say, I see the kids come in here. I mean, the seniors they're young adults.
Exactly.
But the freshmen, they were in middle school last year. It's a big gap. You
jump on a varsity team as a ninth grader. That's impressive.
It is.
It really is.
I wasn't ready to play high school hockey in ninth grade, I'll tell you that much. But I didn't also have Coach You Mean's weight room either.
Yeah, so. Right. Which makes a difference. Again, shout out to Coach, because our kids are strong and they stay strong throughout the entire season, and that's why we have so many championship teams.
Getting stronger.
Yep.
The one thing about that rivalry, I will say, I notice it pretty much at every sport you guys play, even the chippiest of games.
Yep.
I always notice there tends to be never any issues really after the game. The Newburyport Triton ice hockey handshake line, never seen an issue. And I mean, some of those games are, that's some of the most physical hockey you'll, my dad used to call it old time hockey. It was like nobody turns down a check, it's one of those things. And but in those handshake lines, I never see any issues. Nope. Same thing on the basketball court, same thing, is that just good kids coming through all the way around?
I think they figure they empty their bucket out there and handshake at the end, win and lose or draw.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be played.
Good coaching, though, too, right? I mean, you got to instill
Respect
that stuff.
One another.
Yeah, I always think that's a bad look for a coach if any of those mayhem things happen, because not that it's always on, sometimes it's out of their control, but I've always thought that over the years, watching certain games, I'm like, how in the world Oh, those two shaking hands.
I won't say, Drew, that we won't have some extra staff this weekend at that game on Saturday night at 6:30.
I mean, yeah.
It's going to be packed.
It is a boiling pot in there. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's an unbelievable atmosphere.
Yeah.
Small.
But it's a small, tight arena.
Yeah.
And so, I stand over between our students and their students, and they just go back and forth.
Sure. Yeah. You get the middle spot there?
Oh, yeah.
You can hear a lot of
the entire time. I don't even know if I watched the hockey game. I just kind of watched the crowd.
Yeah.
Making sure that no fish fly on the ice.
Yeah. Don't say anything. You can't say that. Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine that's actually a very hard job. Do you have to do that by yourself?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
It's not a one-person job?
Again, here's another piece about Newburyport, is that the amount of people that want to be part of sport, ticket takers, announcers, scoreboard operators, it's just, I don't have to look for anybody. Yeah. These people have been doing this forever. Yeah. And they come out and they're just like money in the bank.
Beautiful.
They show up, they do the tickets, some people shift from the tickets to crowd control. I don't have to beg anybody. Yeah. They're there and they love the game, they love the kids.
Beautiful thing.
It's really, I mean, I've been blessed to be in two great communities. Cool. I think I've told you that before. Yeah. Newburyport's a special place.
Very nice. Jim Antonelli, again, final minute or two with him here, the interim AD at Newburyport, and he tells me they're close to finding a full-time, so he can go back to his Dean of Students role over at Newburyport. How is that role going? Have the actual role, what you were hired to do, the Dean of Students role?
It's fine. That's a breeze for me, and I can do that. I've done that for so many years. I mean, 28 years as an administrator. So that's easy.
Is it a different attire? You get the baseball hat for the AD?
I wore this today for you. Threw the cap on. Usually I'm dressed in my suit and tie, so I'm going to go casual for Drew today.
Well, that's yes. I mentioned it to some of your students who come through here. I think it's the best dressed guest we've ever had on. Actually, I had your guy Jada Medeiros on the other day, who was a big helper for you, I guess I should say.
Absolutely, great guy.
What did he was? I remember him when he was a student here. He was like the leader of the Port section.
Well,
Port fan
he told
section.
me that. He goes, Jim, because he's my seasonal athletic director right now with Amy Heath, one of our other teachers. Yeah. And he's pointing at the kids the other day, and he's like, that was me over there not so long ago. I was the rowdy one leading the crowd. I go, well, now you better tell the crowd you're in a different role, and you need to take control.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he's a good kid, though. I used to have him on when he was younger, and now he's been fun to have on as a young man, too. One other shout-out, too. You're Molly Hogan there. How good is she, huh?
Aces. Yeah. Absolutely aces. Kids love her, talented, friendly. I mean, she does everything from our uniforms to, taking care of these kids every day to, game management. I mean, Molly's terrific.
You go watch a game over there. People are just calling for her all game. Molly! Yeah. Molly! We need Molly over here.
Yeah. Thanks for mentioning that, because she is, again, part of the process and part of what we do every single day at Newburyport High School.
Information booth for me too. She came on this show and enlightened me to all sorts of stuff, just little just generational differences that I never would have known, which I thought was fascinating. All right, cool. Well, very good. We got the winter halfway through, more than halfway.
We got a big tournament coming up for hockey, like I said, the 16th through the 19th of February.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Come on by, and then we'll be into the spring, and
sometimes
that spring can be pretty cold out there. So.
It can, especially when you're still on Plum Island.
Yes.
Yeah, you liking it there?
Oh, I love it.
I was there a few weeks ago. I hadn't been back in a little while, and I just watching that sunset. I was like, "Damn, this place!"
Yeah, special place.
It really is. I got a Plum Island book as a gift for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
It's lovely. I'll give it to you after I read it.
Nice.
Jim Antonelli, Newburyport High School. He's doing it all, as you can hear over there, and he's got a busy end of the sports season here. But we wish all the teams the best. We wish Jim the best. We'll have you on again here soon, and we'll talk about the next seasons and hopefully some championships at the end of the winter.
Like that, yeah.
We'll love it. All right, everybody. Live at Drew's house. Thank you, May Power, doing her thing, producing the show again. Sarah Hayden, Ryan Rothberg, Lily Dissette, our small but mighty team here in Newburyport. You guys are the best. We love you. Live at Drew's house. See you next time. Peace.